Hello. We're talking comics again. We're back on the old comics bandwagon. I've just read issue 5 of this month. Well, this month. I've read issue 5. I've already messed up. We're not professional here. I've read the current issue of Green Lantern and I liked it a lot. So I thought I would, take to the video tubes and talk about why I liked it and why you should be reading Grant Morrison's Green Lantern. I should put my cards on the table up front. I should lay them all out for you to see in this space where you can't see anything, because this is the table down here. But yes, I quite like Grant Morrison's work. Not all of it is for me, but most of it is. Most of his kind of mainstream superhero stuff is very much my kind of superhero stuff. His weirder stuff, his kind of create our own stuff and his independent stuff is a bit too druggy for me, to be honest, to get involved with. But when he's doing his like full on superheroic stuff, I'm there for that. He is one of the writers that super gets Superman. Like, he understands that Superman's a chill dude, and that buys you a lot of points with me. And Morrison's not for everyone. He's definitely an acquired taste. He's definitely... I feel like critics would say that he's only got one taste, and that's the kind of like fourth wall breaking, postmodern type of thing that he's been doing since the late 80s, early 90s. And you're not wrong. It's just that one taste, or that main flavour, is very, very, very good. And it's very, very much to my sensibilities. And I hope it is to yours as well. I am quite excited because I heard the news that Morrison was going to be on Green Lantern. And that's great because I like Morrison. And I want good writers to be on Green Lantern. And that's not to say that recently there hasn't been good writers on Green Lantern. It's just that Green Lantern books, and there's going to be a hell of a lot of me saying Green Lantern because it's got R's and L's and stuff, and I'm going to get those mixed up. It has, I want to say, a reputation for having like really good spells, like any comic. I suppose it's any comic, but it's drawn into sharp focus with Green Lantern because you have a run like Goff Johns's, and I will be referring to him as Goff Johns because how can you not read his name as Goff? Jeff Johns' Green Lantern run was huge, massive, sprawling, very popular, and they immediately followed that up with Guff Johns. And I don't want to like crap on the writers and creators involved with that, but I mean, I even liked a lot or some or bits of that run, but it fell like super hard into generic Lantern stuff. Like there was a period there when Green Lantern, I say a period there, it was probably like 10 years ago. There was 10 years ago when Green Lantern was big, and Blackest Night and Brightest Day and the Sinestro Corps and all that. There was a period there when generic Lantern art was a thing where you'd get a book that was kind of like the main book or like a main focus for a while, and then there'd be loads of others because it spawned loads. And you would get good art and some or okay art, and then you would get generic Green Lantern art, and there's just something... So you look at it, I wish I had examples of it on me, I wish I'd planned this, but I feel bad. Like, it's just, I can't draw that well, and I'm calling it generic, but you get me. It's generic Green Lantern art. So it's got a reputation for that. I don't know who was on before Big Morrison came. It looked like it was something happening. I am stuck 10 years ago when Green Lantern and Green Lantern stuff, Green Lantern mythos, was the biggest thing in DC when like Blackest Night was at the forefront, when all the Lantern Corps mattered and were alive. I don't know the state of Lantern Corps currently. I remember that the Blue Lanterns died. Like, that was the thing, because they did their big... Goff Johns had his run, and he established all this stuff, and he does what Goff Johns does, and that is just slap and slather lore onto just everything he can touch. That's what he's doing in Shazam right now. His Shazam run currently is about how there's 7 like realms that each need one of the like Shazam family to be their champions, and each one of the realms is like the game grid or the fun lands and stuff. It's very Goff Johns. You'll see a lot of me spitting at the camera. That's what that was. It wasn't just your imagination. But yeah, I've lost my train of thought. But Geoff Johns' run was huge. The Lantern Corps, he established all those Lantern Corps and all those great characters, or at least all those great potential characters. Like, there was a bloody, like, Blue Lantern Elephant Man, and he was amazing. And then it was, like, one of the first-ish things that happened when Geoff Johns got put off that, because he got put off that, but when he moved on to other things, after doing it for ages and ages and ages, and presumably using up all his ideas and getting bored with it, and handing it off to other creators, the first thing that happened was, like, they killed all of the fun lanterns to death. Like, if you know the current state of what the Lantern Corps are, let us ken. I know that the DC universe is in a wee bit of a fluid space right now because it had that reboot that wasn't a reboot, but it's totally a reboot, and it's very distinct from the New 52 universe that they kind of had there. I think it's better. I think the one they've got now is great, but, you know, as a DC fan, I need boxes. I need pre and post, and like, this is this and this is that, and this relates to that. Right now, it's just like, we're having fun, and I'm like, yes, I'm there for the fun, but please put that fun in a small box that I can talk about. So yeah, Morrison's announcement on Green Lantern was huge because I love Morrison, and he's a big cosmic space guy, and it's kind of, I assume he's probably had like a Green Lantern run at some point, or he's done stuff with the characters. I have black spots in my Morrison lore. I've not, you know, read everything he's ever done. Like I say, I'm mostly there for his mainstream superhero stuff. But it's cool that he's on Lantern, and it's cool that he's a big name. I don't necessarily know if I'm right here for his take on Green Lantern, because he's very much kind of, like, I assume from the kind of surface level stuff and the tone of it that he's doing his mad, you know, not for everyone space cosmic stuff combined with Bronze Age Green Lantern social issues kind of a thing. Green Lantern and Green Arrow, you know, the kind of 70s, my sidekick is on heroin, speedy, like that stuff. Because it kind of feels kind of hokey. Is hokey a word that a Scottish person can use? It feels kind of guff-ish, like intentionally guff, in that kind of Bronze Age kind of way, kind of janky, but combined with like him just waffling on about space stuff. There was a whole thing about luck lords at the start. Like, I know this video is titled "Why You Should Read," and you're probably expecting like an overly positive, glowing review on like kind of, you know, a pitch to you. I'm literally just going to spew my random unconnected thoughts about why I'm vaguely happy. Issue 5, the issue I have over here, this was basically Bloodborne. Like, Hal goes to this vampire planet, and there's this incredible, like, issue, page 1, spoilers, there's this incredible shot of just like, here's lots of vampires, including like Matt Berry vampire and Nosferatu, and like totally Tom Cruise vampire. I've not seen the Tom Cruise vampire, but is it Interview with a Vampire? I've never seen it, but I know of it through cultural osmosis, and like that's like a weird like Easter egg page, but it's the first thing you see, and like Morbius, I always call him Morbius the Living Vampires on there, so hopefully they don't get sued. I mean, should be fine. But he goes to a vampire planet. This can be the pitch. He goes to a vampire planet, and he's like undercover. There's going to be spoilers. Spoilers for everything. Just assume when you're watching these videos that there's going to be spoilers. He goes to this vampire planet because he's undercover, because it looks like he was going evil, but like in a way that clearly looked like he was faking it, because in previous issues, he killed this horrible slave trader alien, and it was presented as like, oh, he's going a bit wrong and he's abusing his power as a space cop, but it was literally this like bug-eyed flesh creature that wore shorts for some reason and had like chicken legs and had a whole speech about how his race was like irredeemably evil, and were well into the fact that they were irredeemably evil and well into just like every kind of horrible thing imaginable. And then like Hal kills him with like nail constructs, and it's like there's like a kind of confrontational last image where he's like, and everyone's like, whoa, hell, maybe you're going a bit wrong there. But like, he's totally allowed. Like, I know cops shouldn't be allowed to kill, but like, the guy had a speech in the issue about how his entire race was the worst, the absolute worst, and they were cool with it. So, and also, I'm mad, like, didn't they kill? There was this whole thing about how Green Lantern rings aren't meant to kill, but like, I feel like in Big Gough Johns' run, they just killed all the time. Maybe it was because they were fighting, Black Lanterns or whatever. Maybe that didn't count, but that was news to me that Green Lanterns aren't allowed to murder, which, like, physically, the Lantern can't make a construct that can kill someone, which is probably a good bit of lore or whatever. If you're here for the lore, I imagine that's probably from somewhere. Maybe it's like a well-known thing, but it just kind of hit me as like, really? What? This is news to me. But yeah, so it's been presented that like Hal's been going a bit wrong, and I guess that's there for the kind of classic flavor of like he's a loose cannon cop, and like his bosses, the wee green like Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Universe? Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Universe. Why does it sound wrong? The wee Guardians of the Universe are like, oh, you've got a bit wrong there, Hal. We'll have to like send you to the Corps. We'll have to expel you. We'll have to execute you. Like, so there's a lot of classical, like stereotypical cop Green Lantern trappings there, but I don't know if it's a failing or if it's an intentional guffism. And I know it being intentional doesn't make it good, but I didn't think it was in any doubt that Hal's fine. Like, he's fine. Like, he's totally fine, and it's gonna be fine. He's infiltrating this, like, naffly named space vampire anti-Green Lantern thing called is it the Dark Stars? Black Stars? Dark Stars? Well, Black Star, yeah. And they've been stealing gear to make these will-powered power suits. I'm not so much into that necessarily, because it's like, bad Green Lanterns exist, and I'd rather see things done with like, I'd love to see Morrison's take on like, Yellow Lanterns and Black Lanterns and that whole thing, because I'm sure he could do hella work. It does come across as just his ramblings, which I know a lot of people have probably become sick of by this point, or have, are wary of at the very least. But I'm very much here for just old man Grant Morrison's weird ramblings, because they're very entertaining at the very. Like, did you expect Tom Cruise to be in like the first panel of your Green Lantern comic today? I didn't. I was taken aback. Also, I'm pretty sure that was Matt Berry in there. So Matt Berry's been in DC now. Congrats. The artwork, I feel like, is not for everyone as well. It's kind of like knobbly bobbly is the best way I can describe it. It's good. It's a wee bit odd. It's not as it's kind of similar to the Shazam art currently. It's quite kind of old schoolish, busy, kind of detailed, but like comic detailed, not like hyper real or whatever, but kind of like knobbly bobbly is the best way I can describe it. And I like it at times. I don't like it other times, but I think it works for the kind of, all right, Morrison, like, all right, you're doing stuff. Like, it works for that kind of, you're here for the madness, and the art's going to complement that. It's definitely not like kind of modern, light, sparse, kind of fluidy kind of comics that are kind of more readable. It does lean to that kind of more old school density, if not actually dense. I mean, I've been reading GoBots this week, and GoBots is like incredibly dense, like Scully or Scully, I don't know which one it is, but his pages have like 1,000 panels on them, and they're great, and I would recommend you read that. I might do that as another wee video in a bit. But yeah, like, it's not, my main thrust of this video is it's not generic Green Lantern stuff, it's Grant Morrison's mad pish Green Lantern stuff, and I want more people to be in on that. I don't know what the feeling in the community is. I don't know if people are like sick of him at this point, or if they're just kind of apathetic, but join us for this madness. I hope it goes on for like years and years of him just being like, I had these ideas in my notebook, eh? And the artists are like, all right, Grant, you want to draw Tom Cruise? Okay, I'll do it for the dollar. What else has been happening? The thingamajig, Steppenwolf was in like issue 1 or 2 at this auction, because the Earth had been miniaturized, which I think happened in Superman, or it might have been like a separate miniaturization. I wasn't quite clear on that, to be honest. But the Earth had been miniaturized, and like the slaver race were like auctioning it off, and like Steppenwolf was there, and he was all like, "I'll 100 quartloos for the new like race, the new planets. I'll have it so when Big Daddy Darkseid gets back, I can present it to him as a present." And I was just laughing at that. I was laughing that he was like Steppenwolf, the main villain of the Justice League film, which totally happened, if you remember, is kind of just at this daft space auction in a Grant Morrison comic, being like, well, 500 quartloos. Like, there's something just like hysteric about that. I don't think it was intentional or anything, but it was because like normally after a big DC film, a big Marvel film, they would have like a kind of cash-in event, like think of all the kind of Infinity stuff around Thanos, because obviously that was huge and everything, and they were sensible to make events because it would make money. But like, did Steppenwolf get a comic? I mean, what could you do with Steppenwolf as a character? But did he turn up as like a big bad? I mean, if he did, let me know, because I've not been keeping my toes into every little DC thing that's been happening. But very much felt like they didn't really have any faith in that film. Speaking of faith in films, I don't get. I physically don't get in my marrow why Green Lantern is seen as a joke in nerd culture. It's one of those things that I'm happy to be an old man about. Like, I understand it. I understand where it's come from. I just don't get it, because that Green Lantern film flopped or whatever, or wasn't that good, but it's also fine. Like, I guess I've not watched it again, but I saw that Green Lantern film in the cinema, and it was all right. Like, it wasn't the worst thing in the world. Like, it didn't make $1 billion. It wasn't the Avengers or whatever, but it was fine. And like, I know that's the whole kind of run trend with Deadpool and making jokes about Green Lantern, and like the Green Lantern Lego and the Lego film's a joke, and it's like, it's probably stemmed from Warner Brothers allowing or encouraging the Big Bang Theory to make jokes about it, and like, it's become this like, we'll write it off, we'll shield ourselves from criticism, which I don't think exists, other than just people being like, it's fine. Like, they're shielding themselves by making this joke around it and like leaning into the fact it's like, oh, look at us, we can make fun of ourselves, and it's like, it's fine. Like, it's literally fine. Like, it's a film that exists. It's not offensively bad. It's not offensively, it's just there. Like, the CGI bodysuit is probably a ludicrously dumb thing that they did, but it kind of works it's an energy construct. So this video is not about how the Green Lantern film is basically fine. I'll eat my words, I guess. I should probably watch it. That could be a video. I could, be like, oh god, yeah, I shouldn't be defending this. This is horrible. But I mean, when I saw it, it was like they spend too much time on Earth before they get to Oa. But other than that, it was like they went there. They totally went there with the concept. They had that like car, like the kind of toy car that like zoomed about, and they went there with the constructs. And what more do you want, really? I mean, maybe a coherent story and like good characters and hype. But other than that, they went there. But yes, Morrison is someone that I like to see do good superhero work. I hear that he was disillusioned. I don't know how true this is. I've heard this through osmosis again, but I hear he was disillusioned with mainstream comics, and that's it, to be kind of like led back into DC by Snyder doing the multiverse stuff with Metal. That's what I heard anyway. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But yes, it's good. Did you like? This is where we do engagement. It's like, hey, did you like that book? Did you like that comic that you read today? Was it good? I thought it was good. Do you disagree with me? Because if you did disagree with me, go down there and disagree, because that's good for me, see, because the engagements go up when you do that. I should just do controversial opinions. The Green Lantern film was the best film of all time. Best superhero film, I'd have to say. That Hector Hammond, iconic villain, right? Oh god! I've been thinking about this because I saw a Parallax toy in a charity shop. It was this big amorphous thing that didn't even look good at being a big amorphous thing, I assume it was like a kind of play set thing. I've got some Green Lantern toys over there in a box because they turned up at Poundland for £1. And that's probably the right price for them because they only have like, they have very little. Well, no, they actually have all right posability because they have better posability than the Star Wars figs that we did that video on. I'm not sure that I released. They can do like this. They can do this range of movement. Like they can do a round, which hella works because they can do like ring stuff. That's all you need. And I feel like they did really mad ones because you know how the Green Lantern Corps isn't just Hal Jordan. And I've got a few of them. Make a video about that. I'm just struggling for things to say. Mostly, I liked it. I hope, because it's been quite breezy. It's been quite fast so far, this run. We're 5 issues in. Each issue feels madder than the last. Each issue feels like it's focusing on like a thing. The issue before this was really good, and I should have probably made the video there because it was the things that I liked in comics because they were showing off how ridiculous and how ridiculously powerful the Green Lanterns are. Because I can't remember where it is, but I've always been told, and I've always told people that Green Lantern and Green Lanterns are meant to be as strong as Superman. That's the thing, because they're like a space cop for a whole sector, and they're not like this kind of generic red shirt army. They are ludicrously powerful. And last issue, there was like these sun eaters, and they did some embellishments where it was like a royal mating pair of like sun eaters, and they just fought them and won. Like Hal was just like, we're just gonna have to like do lots of willpower at them. And like his rookie cops or his like buddies were like, I don't know, they are sun eaters. They're literally eating the sun. And Hal's like, we'll deal with it. We'll literally just deal with it. And then they phone for backup, and it's like an artificial sun lantern. And Morrison's been going into town. He's been going to town on the everyone can be a Green Lantern thing, which, you know, I would probably want to see a less mad writer do. Because seeing how well the everyone can be Spider-Man thing worked for Spider-Verse, everyone can be a Green Lantern. Like, Green Lantern Sona should be an absolute thing. I don't know what it would take to make that happen in the current climate of Green Lantern as a joke, but do that. Because Morrison's had just like a volcano that's a Green Lantern. He's had like a phlegm. There's like this living phlegm that is a Green Lantern. And I feel like that's probably leaning too hard on the joke that like literally anything could be, because like, you know, the Mogo with the planet, Mogo the living planet. It's hard. Like I can hear it in my brain, but saying it out loud it feels wrong. He's Green Lantern and he's a planet, and like you can lean too hard on the joke that literally anything can be a planet. But I feel like that's what you need to do. Anything can be a Green Lantern, and that artificial sun that was just like on patrol, like being like hello, and then getting a phone for like Hal being like Hal. Being like Hal being like, we need you. He's like, all right, I'll be along. And then just dealing with these sun eaters is the exact kind of like silly madness that I want from comics. And you don't get it as much these days. Although DC are trying. There's a lot of stuff happening. There is a lot of stuff happening. But yes, you should read Green Lantern because it's mad. It's probably not to everyone's taste. It's probably to like fewer people's taste than normal because he's properly leaning on the mad space stuff. It's weird that it's taken him this long to be on Green Lantern book, to be honest. But yeah, I hope it goes on forever. Hopefully we're not, because like someone was saying about a conclusion on Twitter just there, and I'm like, hope it's not just like 6 issues and he's done. Like, no, like I want years of this. I'm entitled to years of this. Definitely. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. We've got a Patreon. If you want to see more from me, you can just give us your money, and I will process that into buying more comics and spewing things that are very close to opinions, but not quite opinions. Anyway, love you, bye.